Right now, in the room where you're sitting, entropy is going down. That shouldn't happen. The second law of thermodynamics says disorder always wins. Always. Stars burn out, coffee goes cold, everything falls apart. And yet, galaxies formed, planets formed. You formed. A new paper in Physical Review D claims it can finally explain this. But the price is steep. Gravity isn't a force. It isn't even curved spacetime. It's entropy itself. And if that's true, spacetime has a temperature. Let me show you. Treat this like a crime scene, because that's honestly what it is. The victim. The second law of thermodynamics. The one law Arthur Eddington said you should never bet against. Entropy, roughly disorder, must increase. The universe started smooth and hot, and it's been sliding toward cold uniformity ever since. No exceptions, no appeals. Except, look out the window. That's not uniformity out there. That's a planet orbiting a star inside a galaxy of 400 billion stars arranged in spiral arms. And somewhere on that planet, chemistry organized itself into things that ask questions about entropy. Every one of those is a pocket of stunning order. Locally, entropy went down. A lot. Physicists have hand-waved at this for a century. The entropy gets exported. The total still rises somewhere. Fine. But nobody could open the equations of gravity and show you where the bookkeeping happens. General relativity describes curved spacetime beautifully and says almost nothing about entropy. Our two greatest theories just don't talk. So here's the question this entire video hangs on. Hold on to it. How does a universe sworn to disorder keep building order? What if the answer requires admitting we got gravity itself wrong? Here's the idea, and I want you to actually get this, so forget equations. Picture a mattress. A mattress has a shape. Its actual physical shape right now. That's shape number one. Now, a heavy man lies down on it. His body is demanding a different shape from the mattress. A deep dent, exactly his size. That's shape number two. The shape matter wants. And here's the thing. The two never perfectly match. The mattress resists. There's always a gap between what the mattress is and what the body demands. Ginestra Bianconi, a mathematician at Queen Mary University of London, says spacetime works the same way. There's the geometry spacetime actually has. And there's the geometry that all the matter and energy sitting in it is trying to impose. Two rulebooks. And gravity? Gravity is nothing but the mismatch between them, measured with a tool from quantum information theory called relative entropy, the same mathematics used to tell two quantum states apart. Reality, in this picture, is a negotiation. Matter makes demands. Geometry pushes back. The tension between demand and answer, quantified as entropy, is what you feel pulling you into your chair right now. I've read a lot of gravity is emergent papers over the years. Most start from black hole horizons and holograms. This one doesn't need horizons at all. The entropy lives at every single point of space. That's genuinely different. But wait, if gravity is really entropy, why has Einstein's version worked flawlessly for 110 years? And notice, we still haven't touched our crime scene. Both answers are coming. Because Einstein was never wrong. He was approximately right. Do the math in the regime we actually live in, low energies, gently curved space, and the entropy equations collapse down and out pops general relativity. Exactly. Einstein's field equations, recovered as the calm surface of a deeper statistical machine. The way the smooth laws of gases emerge from trillions of molecules you never see. And then, the theory hands you a gift you didn't ask for. When Bianconi derives the modified equations, an extra term shows up. Uninvited. It behaves like dark energy, the mysterious something accelerating the expansion of the universe. Except, it isn't a constant glued in by hand. It's dynamical, generated by a field that tracks how far the two rulebooks have drifted apart. Dark energy, here, is the running cost of the disagreement between matter and geometry. The energy bill of a cosmic negotiation. Tell me honestly, down in the comments, does that explanation of dark energy feel right to you or too clean to trust? I'm genuinely torn, and I want to know where you land. While you're down there, subscribe. It tells YouTube that careful physics deserves an audience, and this channel runs on exactly that. Now, I've been making this theory sound unstoppable. Time to show you the moment it nearly breaks. Every beautiful theory has a moment where it almost eats itself. Here's this one's. The entropy at the heart of the theory, that mismatch between the two rulebooks, is a logarithm. And logarithms have a fatal weakness. Push the mismatch too far, and the quantity stops being defined at all. Near the Big Bang, where energies scream and curvature goes wild, the whole framework threatens to dissolve into nonsense. Bianconi doesn't hide this. She does something I respect enormously. She borrows a trick from the physics of magnets, a criterion that tells you precisely when your approximation is lying to you, and draws the boundary herself. Inside that boundary, the theory stands. Outside it, honest silence. That's what real science looks like, by the way. Knowing the edge of your own map. And inside the safe zone, the new paper does something nobody had tried. It asks, if gravity is a statistical theory, can we do thermodynamics on it? Answer, yes. Spacetime's geometric layers each carry their own genuine temperature and pressure, and together they obey the first law of thermodynamics. The steam engine law, running on the fabric of space. These are not Hawking's temperatures. Hawking's radiation comes from quantum fields sitting on top of spacetime. These belong to spacetime itself, which drags in a possibility the paper only dares to whisper. Hot things radiate. If geometry is hot, geometry might radiate too. Not photons, gravitons. Park that. Because we finally have everything we need to close the crime scene. The question from minute one. How does a universe sworn to disorder keep building order? Watch how cleanly this falls. Bianconi takes the standard expanding universes, the radiation-filled early cosmos, the matter-filled one that came after, and runs them through the entropy framework. Two curves come out. Two curves that, at first glance, contradict each other. Curve 1, the total entropy of the universe, rising, relentlessly. For a matter-dominated universe, it grows in a straight line with time. The second law, untouched, unbroken, fully in charge. Curve 2, entropy per unit volume. The disorder in any local patch of space, your patch, my patch, falling continuously towards zero. Sit with that for a second, because those two curves are the whole answer. Space itself is the accountant. Expansion never stops manufacturing new volume, and the total entropy rides that swelling volume upward, which means every local neighborhood is free to get more ordered, more structured, more interesting, and the cosmic books still balance. Galaxies, chemistry, brains. None of it cheats the second law. The second law was always about the total, and the total is being paid for by the stretching of space. Your existence isn't a loophole. In this framework, it's a prediction. One more thing, and this one gave me chills. Push the framework into de Sitter space, the dark energy future our universe is drifting toward, and the total entropy scales as 1 over the expansion rate squared. That is the same scaling Gibbons and Hawking found in 1977 from horizons by a completely different road. Two derivations, half a century apart, no shared assumptions. Same answer, either a coincidence or a signpost. So where do I stand? Let me be straight with you. I'm old enough to have watched beautiful theories die. The caution: this framework is young. A few years old, essentially one research program, and the cosmology leans on approximations whose limits we just discussed. Observational tests are barely starting. Beauty is not evidence. Say it with me. Beauty is not evidence. But good ideas in physics have a signature. Assume one strange thing, and several unexplained things fall out unforced. Assume gravity is relative entropy, and you get Einstein's equations for free. A dynamical dark energy for free. The black hole area law, derived in an earlier paper, for free. And an actual mechanism that makes room for you inside the second law. That's a lot of rent from a single assumption. And that graviton whisper won't leave me alone. If space has a temperature and hot things glow, is the vacuum very quietly glowing in gravitational waves? Nobody knows. Someone watching this might be the one who finds out. Last question, and I read every answer. If gravity really is bookkeeping, information, a negotiation, does the universe feel more mechanical to you now or more alive? Comments. Go. Like the video if it earned it. Subscribe to be here when this theory collapses or rewrites the textbooks. Either way, you'll want to have seen it from the beginning.